All right, so this is going to be another reading for Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, the energy today is looking really good. I'm seeing that you have new love coming in for you. This could be a soul connection, something that speaks to your heart. And with the World card here, I'm seeing that this could be the relationship to end your search, or the connection that kind of not ends all other connections, but the connection that makes you feel like you found the one, that makes you feel like your search is over, or you found what you need in a partnership. And I see a feeling of contentedness for you, and the cycle of you kind of looking for new love or looking for new connections kind of coming to a close because you have an abundance of love and care in your life. But the energy that you're in right now is that you don't see this coming at all. So Spirit's asking you to be open to the unexpected, and particularly be open to unexpected changes, to things going in a different direction. If there are delays in your life, if things don't go as planned, it could be divine redirection kind of taking you in the direction of this divine counterpart, or in the direction of someone who's going to impact you quite a bit in quite a positive way. It's also going to require you to kind of leave behind the life that you knew, or certain patterns that you had, or maybe something that you have been holding onto. So this is going to come in as you release something else. So I definitely see cycles closing, and then also cycles opening. And so in the near future, I see you kind of putting one part of your life to rest, or ending one phase of your life in order to jump into something new and open up that new cycle. I want to dive into the tarot here, Sagittarius, but before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and receiving this reading. I really enjoy doing readings for you guys, and I'm so glad that you listened to this video. If you did click on this video, then it was definitely meant for you. And if it does resonate with you, don't forget to like and subscribe, and that lends your energy to the channel so I can co-create with you and manifest messages that resonate deeply with you. I also offer a personal reading, so if you would like a personal reading, you can email me. My email is down below in the description box. But let's get into it, Sagittarius. So the overall energy for the reading today is the Three of Pentacles. So I see that when it comes to your perspective and how you think about things, Spirit wants you to know that the thoughts that you carry hold a certain amount of weight. So if you're thinking that something's never going to happen for you, that's very significant, because that's you basically putting this energy out into the world that it's never going to happen. And I do kind of see that here for you, that many of you could maybe not really be having confidence in your dreams, or thinking that maybe you should give up on a dream, or that what you really want is kind of too good to be true, and so it kind of leads you to settle for less in the material world. And Spirit's trying to get you out of that mentality of kind of being locked up in what you think is possible, so that you can expand into what's actually possible for you. And there's so many more possibilities out there and potential timelines for you than you may even realize. I feel like I'm kind of rushing through here because there's a lot of exciting energy with this reading. There's room for a lot of potential new energy to come into your life, a lot of love and joy, and Spirit's asking you to step into kind of your inner child energy in a positive way, and to let your inner child come out to play and to explore and to be curious as to what the world has to offer, because you might just be surprised that the world has more to offer than you realized. Let's take a look at this soul connection with the Lover's card. This connection comes in for you as you connect deeper to yourself and your own self-worth. And as you kind of love yourself and connect to yourself, it's like your energy opens in this really beautiful, divine way that maybe you haven't experienced before, where because you know that you have everything that you need within you, and because you know that you can take care of yourself no matter what happens, you start to be open to things you might have never considered before. You might start taking new risks. You might be indulging in things or opening up to things you never would have tried before, and that energy itself is very expansive, and it allows you to kind of pivot whenever you need to and move into new areas of your life whenever you want to without necessarily being worried about how is this going to go. So really beautiful energy for you to be in Sagittarius. And as this energy kind of expands, I see that you're slowly moving towards a love connection, someone who has a lot to offer you, someone who is emotionally available, emotionally vulnerable, honest with themselves, maybe a good provider. I'm just hearing like very emotionally available, very honest, someone who's not afraid to show you how they feel. And you may not even realize this, but you're kind of attracting this energy into your life as you kind of open up your own energy. And it makes space for a really beautiful connection and for someone to meet you where you're at. And maybe in the past it felt like people weren't meeting you at your level, or you weren't able to find someone who fully connected with your heart space. And I'm seeing that maybe it just wasn't the right timing. Maybe things had to line up in the material world on the earth plane in order for you to meet this person or connect with this person. And so it just didn't happen for a while. And part of what needed to happen was that centering of yourself and that connection that you kind of built with yourself that then opens up and allows space for this energy to come in. And so it's not just that, you know, things weren't happening because they weren't happening, but because within divine timing, you needed to be open to this coming in. And with the love and the effort that you kind of put towards yourself, I'm seeing that that cycle is kind of closing, the cycle of building up your own strength. And now that you have built up your own strength and your own self-reliance, you're ready for this connection to come in. It's kind of like a door opening. You may have many options available to you and you're not really sure which way to go because of all these options, and that may be a little bit of a struggle for you. You're not exactly sure where to put your energy in the real world, and I'm hearing to trust what the universe sends you and to attract rather than chase. So if you're not sure what to go towards or something feels confusing, that could be a sign that that's not what you're meant to go for. Have the strength to trust yourself, have the courage to trust yourself, and move towards that which doesn't feel confusing or difficult. Move towards that which feels aligned with you and feels almost effortless. The cycle that you're closing out is that cycle of confusion, of not being sure where to go next or where to put your energy, and feeling like you have to work really hard or expend a lot of energy in order to just figure out what your next step is. As you align closer with your own energy, there's other energies that align with you, and then there are paths that open up before you, and it's less like knocking down every door trying to find the right path, and more like allowing the paths to open up before you, or allowing the sea to part for you, and you just kind of walk through effortlessly and you kind of walk that path. In the current energy, though, even though these energies have been building up for you, this energy of, you know, possibility and alignment and self-love and everything aligning, right now you may be kind of like, okay, like, what do I do now? You may be second guessing yourself. You may be kind of doubting yourself because it's not clear. And Spirit's asking you to be open to the unseen and to have faith in divine timing, because a lot of beautiful things are coming towards you, but they're going to happen in unexpected ways, and it's going to require you to be incredibly open and curious and childlike in order to kind of go with whatever comes towards you, and maybe to make a lot of space for surprises. You know, if you're planning out every single day, you're not leaving a lot of time to be spontaneous or, you know, to follow your heart's desire or to follow a certain whim that you have. And so Spirit's asking you to stay really, really, really open, even if you don't necessarily know why you're staying open. Trust your instincts, you know, and trust the idea that new things will come in for you. There's something about childhood and stepping into your inner child and connecting with your heart and really living in the moment and not being so worried about what's coming next, so that when certain opportunities present themselves, you can kind of just go for it. It's about kind of connecting with that part of yourself that in kindergarten, like when you were 5 years old, or in primary school, or whatever you call it, and you would just be playing and you weren't necessarily thinking like, okay, I have 10 minutes left of playtime, so I'm going to use 5 minutes to play in my pretend kitchen before I go into my pretend exercise room or whatever it was. I don't know. It's like you were just kind of going with the flow and doing what you wanted to do. And Spirit's kind of asking you to step more into your impulsive energy in a way and to go with what feels good and what goes with your gut rather than your mind, and to kind of just keep going even if you don't necessarily see the path ahead of you. There may be a part of you that wants to be really logical, that wants to make like the perfect next step. But the important thing is that you take the next step, not that it's right or correct in any particular way. If you're kind of wondering or looking for an answer or looking for what's the best thing, where's my happiness lie, what's the right move to make, that's actually going to block you because you're going to be so preoccupied in doing the quote unquote right thing that you're not going to make a move at all, and you're going to end up being a little bit stuck. And so there's a message here about shifting out of that energy of overthinking and just doing what you want to do and just going with the flow. There's going to be changes that come in that completely change your material reality. So if you're living in one place, you may not be living there very long. If you're attached to one job, you may not be working there very long. Like, there's going to be changes to the very pattern and fabric of your life that you're not going to be expecting at all. And I'm seeing that you're kind of just going to be like sitting there, kind of going with the flow of the day, doing whatever you normally do, and these changes are going to come in almost out of nowhere. But it's going to happen when you open up your energy and when you kind of relax your energy to allow these changes in. But again, very unexpected changes, but something that's eventually going to align you with your heart even more and with your passion even more. And I see you kind of starting out as the Page of Wands, so kind of dipping your toes into your curiosity, into your passions. And then as you kind of allow the universe to give and you start receiving the universe's blessings, then you move on to the Knight of Wands and you kind of charge forward, even though maybe you're not exactly sure where you're going. And then with the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck, eventually you step fully into your passions and fully into your power, and you kind of know, okay, I'm on the right path and I don't need to stress, I don't need to worry, because you're going to feel the flow of things and you're going to get into that flow. But it's about you aligning with your passion and about you aligning with your heart rather than getting stuck in your mind or in the logistics or the practical. And whatever this is, if you are still a little bit stuck in your mind or in the practical, it's going to force you out of that way of thinking and into just taking one moment at a time. And with this comes the end of a way of being, like I said before, and kind of moving towards something else. And so if there's anything that you've been holding onto, that's going to come to an end so that you can move on. For many of you, this thing that you've been holding onto is just this need for control, or this need for everything to go right, or this need for everything to be balanced all the time and to know that you're doing it right. You're going to need to release that, and it looks like you're holding on pretty tight because it gives you a feeling of security, or it gives you a feeling of control, or having some control over your life. And releasing that need to know and to have everything be correct is actually going to feel really good, because it comes through as very heavy and very tiring for you to always be focused on knowing and having exactly what you need at all times. I see you kind of consciously realizing, I want to step into my heart space. I don't want to just stay in the safe zone all the time. You're going to consciously say to yourself, you know what, I want to step into a lighter energy, a happier energy, a more loving energy. You're going to say to yourself, I know I have what it takes, and so I don't need to be so attached to a certain outcome. And that's going to actually mark a pretty significant spiritual, I'm hearing benchmark for you, where you're going to put one burden down so you can free your hands. to accept more from the universe than maybe you have in the past. And with that, Sagittarius, you're going to be able to move forward. And you're going to be able to move forward mentally as well as spiritually and emotionally. And your outlook is going to change. The way that you see things is going to change, and it's going to help you be more present. And with that perspective shift, I just see everything kind of clicking into alignment. In my head, I'm seeing two gears kind of clicking into place, because before, if you were kind of stuck in your head or stuck in the logistics of things, I'm seeing your perspective really shifting, and you're not necessarily looking at things with the same headspace. And so even if you're coming up against some of the same circumstances that you had before, because you've had this spiritual transformation, you're going to see it differently, and you're going to be able to move differently through whatever comes your way. A really beautiful, exciting reading, Sagittarius. I'm really happy for you, and I can't wait to hear what these changes are for you and how it feels for you in your body and in your life. From the universe, we have that wish fulfillment is coming your way, but it's up to you to accept it. I'll say that again. Wish fulfillment is coming your way, but it's up to you to accept it. That's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope this helped. I hope it resonated, and I'll see you next time. Bye.